Where triangles and stars, who's holding Hitler's hand? It's the British ruling class. No wall, no back, no passerang. No wall, no back, no passerang. We'll just ask the Duke of Windsor, just ask the Board of Trade. How much we love your speeches, your salutes and your parades. Because today Mail loves black shirts, will be champagne cliches. Just wash our feet with money while we look the other way. While he's taking scapegoats, we're triangles and stars. Who's holding Hitler's hand? It's the British ruling class. No wall, no back, no passerang. No wall, no back, no passerang. Now the unelected princess from the banana monarchy meets the unelected millionaire from the markets of the free. And she's got a scarlet dress on, and all she says is yes. Let's spice up our special relationship with a slice of the NHS. While he's making scapegoats, we're triangles and stars. Who's holding Hitler's hand? It's the British ruling class. No wall, no back, no passerang. No wall, no back, no passerang. No wall, no back, no passerang. No wall, no back, no passerang, no passerang.
All the walls have to go! All the walls have to go!
Palestine to Mexico! Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
When democracy's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When migrants under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When refugees under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When gay people under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Muslims under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When women under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When democracy's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Muslims under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When migrants under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Theresa May!
Shame on you!
Theresa
Thank
May!
you, Steve, and great to see so many people already assembling here today. I'm proud to bring you greetings on behalf of Unite, Britain's biggest trade union, and to pledge our support for a united movement against Donald Trump and all that he stands for. Could I first of all send special greetings to all Muslim brothers and sisters here today, to the Muslim organisations sponsoring this protest. Every single Muslim in the world was the target of Donald Trump's racism, and we have to stand with them, and we cannot build a movement against oppression without standing in solidarity with the oppressed and putting them at its very heart. Could I also echo what Steve Hart has just said about the importance of unity? In Donald Trump, we are facing a threat to all our values of a kind we have not seen before. We need to all unite against that. This is not a time for raking up the past, not a time for egos or personal politics. posturing. It is not a time for division. It is time for one united movement of the British people to reject Donald Trump. Now, there are some people who possibly, even with perhaps good intentions, find something good to say about Donald Trump. Some are saying he is a friend of the workers. I say, look at what he is doing today, deregulating Wall Street, having a cabinet full of billionaires, passing legislation to attack trade unions. Donald Trump is no friend of the working class. Others say it is still more far-fetched that perhaps Donald Trump will stand for peace. Now, none of us here, I suspect, will carry a candle for Obama and his foreign policy, or for the liberal elite which have taken us into too many wars this century. But Donald Trump, in just 2 weeks, has threatened war with China. He has threatened to invade Mexico. He is threatening war with Iran. He is backing Israeli colonialism. Donald Trump stands for war. And now there is talk, our government extending a state visit to Donald Trump. I must admit, I stand here as a Republican, but my first thought when I heard that was, Donald Trump, keep your wandering hands off the Queen. But Theresa May wants a special relationship. And, well, I'm no more a dating consultant than I am a monarchist. But I would say to Theresa May, no, you don't hold hands with a racist, you don't hold hands with a misogynist, you don't hold hands with an anti-democratic authoritarian warmonger. Theresa May, let go of his hand, and it is time for us to call time on the special relationship. It is time we had a British government ready to stand up for the dignity of our democracy and the values that we believe in. And the last thing I would say to you, brothers and sisters, is Donald Trump is famous for wanting to build a wall. Well, if he comes to Britain, we too should build a wall around him, a wall of the decent people of this country who stand for equality, who stand against racism, who stand in solidarity with women across the world, a wall of decency and democracy to stop Donald Trump moving anywhere around this country. Thank you.
I'm here to protest the racist Muslim ban. I'm here to protest the inhumane ban on refugees. I'm here to protest the despicable southern border wall. I'm here to protest against a president who deliberately, when he talks about the Holocaust, deliberately doesn't mention the genocide of the Jewish people or the Roma people. I am the General Secretary of the National Union of Teachers, and we are the biggest teachers union in Britain. We're the biggest teachers union in Europe, and I'm here to say that every teacher should be involved in the campaign against Donald Trump and against his policies. And I want to tell you why. As teachers, we're privileged. We see the world the way it's going to be. We see with the young children we teach, we see the world the way it's going to be when we have finally defeated racism and prejudice. But we also see the way the world is now. And we see the fear that Donald Trump's policies are causing to some of our children in schools up and down the country. And when you see that, you know that you have to speak out. And I tell you that I don't believe that Donald Trump's policy is an ordinary bad immigration policy that we get from ordinary bad politicians. I don't believe his anti-terror policies are the ordinary sort of foolish, counterproductive anti-terror policies we get from bad politicians. Instead, I believe that Donald Trump's policies are aimed at stoking up fear and division. And that fear and division is not confined to the citizens of 7 mainly Muslim countries. It's not confined to Muslims at all. It affects every person of color, every refugee, every person who wants a decent society. And that division isn't confined to the United States. That division is spreading across the world, and we are seeing that fear and division in our schools. We have reached a low point in the world. But this demonstration, the demonstrations across the United States and across the world, they show we can fight Trump's policies. We can fight that division. We can show the unity necessary to overcome. And I tell you, our Prime Minister, Theresa May, our Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, they say we should stay close. They want to stay close to Donald Trump so that we can get some crumbs off his table, so that Mo Farah can go and train in the United States. Well, I want to say this, I think Mo Farah is a hero in this crowd. Mo Farah shows the good things we're doing in this society. And Mo Farah's Facebook statement condemning Donald Trump is something I'm especially proud of. We have to stop Donald Trump. I've signed the petition, as many of you have. I think his visit here would be an embarrassment to the Queen. I think if he visits the House of Parliament, it would be an embarrassment to our MPs. But I tell you, if his visit isn't met by the biggest demonstration we have ever mobilized, it will be an embarrassment to all of us. In 20 or 30 years' time, when your children or your grandchildren turn to you and ask you what you did to oppose Trump's policies, you have to have a good answer. Now is the time. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to be active. Now is the time to be personally brave. We have no option. Stand up. Say no to President Trump. Say no Muslim ban. Say no state visit. 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. I'd like to welcome our next speaker. Please give a very warm welcome to Faduma Hassan, who is representing Momentum.
Hi everyone, my name is Faduma. I'm Muslim, I'm a refugee, a Somali-born British citizen. I seem to take all the boxes Trump hates. In recent weeks, I went from anger to sadness to absolute fury. Trump and his hate-filled ideology, we know, is there to just divide us all. He talks about stopping terrorism and increasing security. But I have questions for you. Do I look dangerous to you? Was a 5-year-old child handcuffed at the airport a threat to American security? Did a 4-month-old baby needing an open-heart surgery a threat to anyone? Was a PhD student a threat to American society? No. We know that this isn't the reason why he's doing this. Trump has an agenda, and we shouldn't be afraid to say it. Trump's agenda is a fascist agenda. Trump is there, and he is intentionally perpetuating hate to divide us. And we have already seen this. We have been seeing mosques burning to the ground. We have seen murders happening in mosques. 6 people killed in Quebec that were, the white supremacist was inspired by him and Le Pen. And this is what we need to be doing and what we need to be working to stop. Let's not forget our own Prime Minister. When faced with the opportunity to challenge Trump, did she do that? She did not. All she did was appease him. Instead of being the voice for us and standing up to this, she just held hands with him, which I thought was a bit creepy. More than ever, we need to ensure that history does not repeat itself. We need to make sure that we are actually loud and clear, organising in our communities, fighting back. When Trump comes here, we need to make sure that we are fighting back. We need to make sure that he has hell in London. Are you ready for that? Let's organise. Momentum has already started organising that alongside many organisations. Please join us. Let's start organising. Let's not be angry at staying at home. Let's get to the streets and change it. Thank you very much.
Hello. There's a huge Mexican flag out there in Grosvenor Park. Can we welcome the Latin American community? Donald Trump doesn't know that California, Texas and all those states along the Mexican border were annexed by the Americans. It's about time Mexico claimed them again. Thank you very much. Can I now introduce our next speaker, a very close colleague of mine in the Labour Party, Shadow Minister for Equalities, the MP for Brent Central, Butler.
Thank you, Murad. So the rain wasn't going to stop us, was it? We were going to get our feelings known. Listen, I'm Butler. I'm the MP for Brent Central, the most diverse constituency in Europe. And we wear that bag with pride, let me tell you. Now coming here today, under this coat, I've got a really nice dress on. And I was going to apologise for what I was wearing today because it's inappropriate for a march. And then I thought, I can wear what the hell I like. You can't judge me on what I'm wearing. You can't touch my pussy without my permission. You can't kiss me without my permission. You can't rub yourself up against me without my permission. And rape is rape. Don't anybody ever condone rape. Rape is rape. And if you've ever been touched without your permission, report it. Don't be scared to report it. Now listen, the reality is we do have a special relationship with the United Kingdom. With the USA. We do have a special relationship with them, but that comes with responsibility. And Theresa May, our Prime Minister, has to understand that responsibility. Our Parliament is older than the United States. And it is said that when America sneezes, the UK catches a cold. You've heard that? Right. Right now, America has a really nasty virus. And we've got to be careful that we don't catch it. Because we do have a close working relationship. And right now we've got a bit of an open wound with Brexit, and we've got to make sure that we don't catch it and it doesn't become an epidemic. We've got to make sure that we stop it so it doesn't become a pandemic. Because let me tell you, the free world may never recover from this hate unless we stop it, unless we speak up against it, and unless we stop it now. What's the antidote, you might ask? The antidote is you. The antidote is me. The antidote is us. The antidote is building bridges and not walls. That's the antidote. The antidote is speaking up and standing out. Edmund Burke said, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for the good men do nothing. Last week we had the Women's March. Women, men, children, all races, all religions marched together outside of number 10 to say, look, in our lifetime. We have to stand united in our voice against what Trump is saying and what Trump is doing. The answer isn't walls and the answer isn't bans. Martin Luther King said, I cannot be where I ought to be until you are where you ought to be. That is the interrelated structure of reality. We need each other. We are tied together in a single garment of destiny. We need each other to move forward to the next level. There is no other way. Thank God. That's Martin Luther King. Working together, we will achieve together.
together. Make no mistake, we are a powerful force. Rain wasn't going to keep us away today. Snow wasn't going to keep us away today. Don't ever let your voices be silent. We must not be led by the hand of hate, but we must work hand in hand to secure equality. The Labour Party is an enabling party. We enable people to achieve what they want to achieve. We enable people to work, live, play and pray wherever you want to pray. Listen, it doesn't matter. Racism, sexism, misogyny, anti-Semitism, it's all wrong. And we've got to say it's wrong. Listen, there's a poem that I know you all know, and I want you to help me. Pastor Martin Imola. When they came for, it's my adaptation. When they came for black people, you didn't speak up because I want them black. That's how it goes. When they came for black people, they didn't speak up because... Oh. When they came for women, we didn't speak up because... When they came for Jews, we didn't speak up because... When they came for Muslims, we didn't speak up because... It's now to speak up, speak out and be loud and proud. We are not a nation of hate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dawn. I'd like to welcome a child refugee from Iran. She came here as a child, and I'd like you to give a warm welcome to Selena, who'll be reading a short poem. Thank you.
This is a poem I wrote at the time of Brexit, and it was initially addressed to Nigel Farage. I'm going to address it to Theresa May and Donald Trump today. I am an immigrant. I'm every musical instrument, every mathematical equivalent, from the essential chemical element to every science experiment. I am an immigrant. I am a continental compliment, a fundamental sentiment, a French kiss slipping from your lips, enchanté. You get the gist. I am that je ne sais quoi, that joie de vivre, that bon appétit, the croissant you eat. I'm the chips that goes with your fish, that very English, sorry, Jewish dish. That Danish pastry that makes life so tasty, that sweet little raisin, hallelujah, that Lord you're praising. The pyjamas you wear, the blonde in your hair, the khaki color of your combat trousers. Wowzers, awesome, what's up? I am the tea and your china cup, that sugar so sweet in everything you eat, coffee from the Arabic street. Cappuccino, Italiano, pizza Americano, classical piano, salsa and tango. From that Hollywood movie to that Bollywood groovy, that beautiful smoothie, so fresh and so soothing. Your Greek democracy, your German aristocracy, your whole philosophy based on Chinese meritocracy. From blues to that reggae song, the Latin roots of your mother tongue, I could go on and on till the break of dawn. So when you bang your racist drum, remember, Africa is where I'm from. So don't be so ignorant. I am an immigrant.
Well, thank you for the poetry. Can I, just before I introduce the next speaker, there's another banner here about Donald Trump's wives. Do you want to raise it in the red? It reads, 2/3 of Trump's wives are immigrants, proving once again that we rely on immigrants to do the jobs most Americans won't do. Our next speaker is the new director of Palestinian Solidarity Campaign, and he's the first director of Palestinian Dissent, Ben Jamal.
Thank you. I'm proud to stand here with you today in solidarity and in opposition to the politics of hatred and prejudice that Donald Trump represents. Last November, like many of you, I stayed up all night to watch Donald Trump be elected as president. I watched the results with my 17-year-old daughter and witnessed and shared her dumbfounded horror that a man who was overtly misogynistic and racist could be elected to the highest office in the Western world. The best comfort I could offer her was to hold on to her faith in what was right not to lose sight of her values, but also to remind her and myself that the only thing necessary for evil to prevail is that good people do nothing. We all stand here today because we refuse to do nothing. Our opposition to Trump and what he represents is rooted in a commitment to fundamental values which recognize every individual's right to live their life with dignity and respect regardless of their ethnic, cultural or religious identity. Values which recognize every individual's right to travel freely without restrictions based on their faith, their ethnicity or their country of origin. Trump wants to appeal to our worst instincts, to the fears and the anxieties that drive us apart and make us see each other as strangers with differences from which we need protection. We are here to appeal to our best instincts, to recognize we have more in common than that which divides us, and to uphold the basic principle that fundamental rights belong to all of us and cannot be disregarded on the basis of ethnicity, religion or gender. Trump is not alone in his belief. He stands alongside others who seek to rule by fear, division and prejudice, who build policies on racist foundations. He has an ally in Benjamin Netanyahu, who is one of the few foreign leaders to praise Donald Trump for building the wall on the Mexican border. Well, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? He knows all about building walls to divide and separate. That is why I'm proud to stand here as the director of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, because the campaign I represent is founded on the same principles which bring us together today. We stand in opposition to walls built to keep out Mexicans, just as we stand in opposition to walls designed to keep out Palestinians. We stand here in opposition to restrictions on the freedom of movement of Muslim people, just as we stand in opposition to the checkpoints and the barriers which prevent Palestinian people moving freely across their own land. We stand here in opposition to the use of torture, whether by the CIA or by Israeli authorities. On Monday, you will have another chance to show your opposition to the politics of hatred and division. On Monday, Benjamin Netanyahu is coming to meet and sip tea with Theresa May. We will be there to greet him outside Downing Street from 11:30 to 1:30. And I hope to see many of you again standing in solidarity with the victims of inequality and injustice, reminding them their struggle is our struggle, and across the world are allies committed to stand in solidarity in defence of the principles of justice and equal rights. No to Trump, no to Netanyahu, no to racism.
Good morning. It's great the sun's come out for the growing numbers that are here. You might not have heard of the Alliance for Freedom of Movement, but it's a group of campaigning organisations and individuals who are fed up with the wave of hatred in this country that is blaming migrants for all of the problems. And we need to be clear. There's not migrants who run down our services, who have built our houses, who are decaying our hospitals. Those are the choices of our governments and of companies and of the rich in this country. There's a great little placard down here. As a Muslim, I'm a tad upset. Muslims represent less than 1% of the US population, but they're being identified as the treatment of hatred. And the real fear of May and Trump alliance is not just that we support Trump, but we end up copying Trump in this country. Indeed, that they copy the worst of each other. And you only have to think about the prevent policy in this country, which is not dissimilar. It is based on the idea that Muslims are terrorists. It's trying to build hate into the fabric of our universities and our schools. And as Begg has already mentioned, in May's tour of the great leaders of the world, Netanyahu is the next one on her list. And Israel is about the only country in the world who's not afraid of Trump. Indeed, is welcoming him to come and help build their wall. And what are we going to end up with? A walled world, an apartheid planet where races and religions are separated from each other in isolation that can only lead to war and violence. Immigration and migration are not the cause of social problems, therefore stopping them are not the solution. And what sorts of new immigration laws has May got in mind for this country? You can bet they'll be racist. You can bet they're going to pick out white countries, skilled workers, and leave behind those who have the need to come to this country. Tories have a Brexit agenda for the rich, for the city, for business. We need one for the ordinary people. Fortress Britain is not the solution. Walls so burn they come down. Let's make sure they fall. Come and demand to burn their feet. Trump out. May out.
Thank you, Hugh, and it really is a fantastic view from this platform. So, we're talking about 17% of the electorate have signed a petition against Trump. So, Catherine West, Shadow Foreign Office Minister, MP for Hornsey Green, really representing her constituents. Catherine.
Thank you very much. And I wanted to tell friends here about last Sunday, which was Holocaust Memorial Day, waking up to the news of the ban on Muslims and then attending the most wonderful choir of young children in our borough and having to think about how I could explain to them what the news overnight meant. And their beautiful singing, there wasn't a dry eye in the hall when those young people got up to sing their lungs out about hope. And we have to stand for hope. We have to build bridges, not walls. And we have to stand up against hatred, because hatred is what killed 6 million Jews in the Second World War, and hatred is what will kill and will bring another world war if we're not careful. So today we must stand up to hatred of any sort. Isn't this just about Muslim people? No, because this could be another group tomorrow and another group the day after, because we know that what hatred does, it dehumanizes the other, and then they can be attacked by violence and they can be killed. And that is how we understand what's called the banality of evil and hatred. So today, let's be strong, peaceful, hopeful. Can you see the sun's come out while we've been here? Refugees are welcome, and we must redouble our efforts to work with European partners to solve the refugee crisis through peaceful means. I repeat, let's build bridges, not walls. And I also bring lots of greetings from our local mosque, where I had lunch yesterday with faith groups. Our local rabbi was there, Christian ministers were there, people of all faiths and none, uniting against hatred and discrimination, which is what this is. So go out today and don't forget to build bridges and not walls. Thank you. Have a wonderful march.
Thank you, Catherine. Our next speaker is representing the Stop the War Coalition. Please give a warm welcome to Lyndsey.
It's marvellous to see so many people here today, and there's still people streaming into the park. So we're going to have thousands and thousands of people demonstrating here
just one campaign. It's not just one individual. It's all of us uniting together. And we know the old slogan, when you put up 5 fingers, you can be beaten. When you put up 6 up, you can fight back. And that's what we're doing today. I take fantastic heart from this movement. For Women's March, the marches earlier this week, and now this. We have a mass international movement on our hands, and we are going to fight until we win. And we're saying to Theresa May, do not dare follow Donald Trump, or you will be out of office, and he will be out of office as well. And the other message, we do not want a state visit of Donald Trump here. We don't want him sitting in Buckingham Palace being wined and dined. We don't want him playing Bolton Balmoral. We don't want him anywhere in Britain. And if he tries to come here, we will stop him every step of the way. When George Bush came here in 2003, we had the biggest weekday demonstration ever in history of this country against Bush. Believe me, if Trump comes, that will look small in comparison. So we're doing the march now. We're about to leave. We're going to have a fantastic march today. And we are saying to everybody, this isn't the end, this is the beginning of a mass campaign in every town, in every village, across the country to beat Trump. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lyndsey. I have to say, I think that the best platform award goes to that one over there that says, never again, Jews against the man. Because I think if we want to stop the rise of fascism to power and the rise of racism to power, we need movements like this, and we need Jews, Muslims, women, lesbian and gay communities. All those that want to do something about climate change. We need a united movement against racism, fascism, Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. So, I'd like to welcome our final speaker, who is the chief steward for this march, who will be explaining what we're doing after him, because we'll be now moving on to the march to Downing Street. Please give a warm welcome to Stand Up to Racism co-convener, Weyman Bennett.
Everybody, we're here against Donald Trump to say we're not going to get welcomed here. We're going to stop you. But we're marching. We're marching to Theresa May's house. The previous person in Theresa May's house was a man called David Cameron. David Cameron had close relations with a pig. And even he had the sense not to shake Donald Trump's hand. If you're going to do that, what kind of pig is Donald Trump? You should not shake his hand. Why? You know him by his friends. He's a friend of Marine Le Pen. He's a friend of Black voters. He's a friend of anti-racist and bigot, sexist, homophobe. And the message we've got is this. He said little people don't matter. But there are many more of us to billionaire, bigot Trump to say that we're not going to let him in. We are not going to let you in. If you come here by helicopter, we will
ladies under attack, what do we do? When women under attack, what do we do? When black people under attack, what do we do? When Mexicans under attack, what do we do? When Theresa May invites a racist bigot to this country, what do we do? Everyone makes it right.
The great thing about this march is that it's not one party, one people, one community that brings this march together. It is a coalition of the diversity of our country. It is the embodiment of the unity that we represent in this country and the kind of values that we stand for. And it is that that makes this march so special. It is that that makes this march so important. Make no mistake, our journey simply starts here. It doesn't end. You know, there's a bigger march we're starting on March the 18th at Grosvenor Square. Use today as a launchpad, as an opportunity to mobilize, to organize, to inspire people, so that on 18th March we'll show not just in London but across the world that divisive politics and hatred and prejudicial views has no place in our country, in our world. But I also want to draw another attention. Today is the Muslim community that finds itself at the receiving end of this hatred. And tomorrow, mosques up and down the country will open their doors to everyone to come and enjoy the company, to enjoy tea, coffee, biscuits, snacks. Each one of you going to make sure that tomorrow you turn up in large numbers to every mosque that opens near you and bring your family and friends and neighbors. Because that is your opportunity to show solidarity at the grassroots. And let me finish you with this. You know, the state visit, Theresa May decide who comes to that visit because she is our Prime Minister. But it is a visit paid for by us. And it is a visit hosted by people supported by us, directly. And so we have a stake in that. And we say very clearly that our money is not to be used to host a man who cannot stand our citizens. And so I'm going to conclude by saying this. I'm proud to be a British, I'm proud to be Muslim, and I'm proud to be here today, both as MCB, the Muslim Council of Britain, but I'm also proud to be co-chair of Stand Up to Racism. Because there are some who try to divide us. There are some who try to raise questions about our struggle for freedom, for equality, for fairness. And we say this, no matter what your politics are, no matter what your identities are, if you stand up to bigots, if you stand up for justice, if you stand up for fairness, we will be with you. Thank you very much.
Tens of thousands of people here in Whitehall, we have absolutely blocked the centre of government in this city. And this is only the beginning, because if Theresa May dares to go ahead with this state visit, we will bring London to a standstill. We will make sure that nobody can move anywhere in the city. And we are speaking out today because this ban on Muslims entering the United States. Now this is aimed at 7 majority Muslim countries. The interesting thing is, the majority of them have already been bombed and invaded by the United States in recent years. And one reason so many people have to come as refugees is because of the wars that we are responsible for, which we are still carrying out across the Middle East and North Africa. racism, have stood up against fascism, against racist murders, and those of the older generation, we've been on all those demonstrations where we had to fight for the right of black people to be able to work in certain jobs, to be able to have houses, all of those things. And we're not going to go back to those times. Now this is the beginning of a mass movement. We've had hundreds of thousands on the streets in recent weeks. We've had millions across the world. And in London alone, we had demonstrations this week and we had the Women's March a couple of weeks ago. But this is only the beginning. We need to build a huge movement against the state visit and against Trump's presidency and against Theresa May's rotten racist politics. And when you build a mass movement, there are lots of people from different backgrounds and different ideas. That's good. We need to unite on the biggest possible scale. Everybody has to be in favour of unity in this movement. And I'll tell you what, if you're not in favour of unity, you will pay the price. Because people want unity now in the face of the biggest threat that we've seen for decades. And we have to unite into one huge movement which can defeat Trump and which can defeat Theresa May. So this is only the beginning. Keep on the street, be at the network on the 18th, be on the 18th of February, be on the anti-racist demo on the 18th of March, there's a big demo in defence of the NHS on the 4th of March. We've got demos coming out of our ears, and that's what we need. That's what we need when we have rights and politicians attacking our rights across the world. So stand up, stand together, stop the statement, take notice, and we will win. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lynn. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, who is representing the Muslim Engagement and Development Organisation, who's one of the organisers of today's event. Please welcome Azad Ali.
Okay, answer me first, yeah? No man, no war, equality for all. Thank you all for coming out. We're very proud to actually be co-organisers of this massive statement to all the racists and fascists that we're not going to stand by and allow this to happen. Fascism is on the rise. We cannot describe it as anything else. Using terms like alt-right and everything else is not acceptable. Call it as it is. First point is fascism is on the rise. Second point is the Muslim community is the focus at the moment. Okay? And the Muslim community needs to be a key part of the challenge. But as we know from our history, it is neither against one community, it is against humanity. Are you with us on this fight? The third point is unity. We have to be united. Okay, we have to be united. This is not a time for petty squabbles. We have to put our differences aside and come together. Are you with us on this? The fourth point is that our collective action does make a difference, and we have to sustain this action. Don't tire yourself out running on the first time. You've got to pace yourself, a long battle ahead. Are you with us? The fifth point is the clenched fist. Do you think it works? Do you think it works? Do you think it works? No racists on our streets, no fascists on our streets. Say it loud, say it proud. No fascists on our
So please put those dates in your diary. I'd now like to welcome our next speaker, who is here representing the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. Please welcome Kate Hudson.
Thanks very much, Saggy. Again, great to see such a massive crowd here today. And it's essential that this mobilisation continues and this mobilisation grows and strengthens in unity. Because every day with Trump in that White House, every day will be a new attack on the people of the United States, on the women, on black people, on gay and lesbian communities, on the poor, on every single person in the United States. This will be an attack. But let's be absolutely clear. This attack from Donald Trump is not just an attack on the people of the United States. This is a global attack against the peoples and the communities of the world. And we need to be united on a global basis across this incredible danger. Never in my lifetime have I seen any threat as great as this. Such a threat to our democracy, such a threat to so many people, such a threat to so many lives. And believe me, this is a question of life and death for people in the United States and people across the world. And let's be clear about a power that President Trump has. He just doesn't have power over people's everyday lives. He has the power of annihilation for the entire globe. Every day, every minute of every day, he has the nuclear button by his side. At any time, the unpredictable, volatile President Trump, filled with hatred of people's communities and countries, every day he has the power to press that nuclear button and destroy us all. Can we stand for that? No, we cannot stand for that. It is incumbent upon us to unite together here in Britain, across all countries, across all continents, against the threat that he presents to us, against our values, against our peoples, against our communities, and against life itself. This is what we have to do, and I believe that we can do it, because believe me, you are the beating heart of this country, you are the conscience of this country, not Theresa May and her cabinet of appeasers. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. I'd like to now welcome our next speaker, who is here representing another one of the organisers, the People's Assembly Against Austerity, a very important movement today. I'd like you to please give a warm welcome to John Rees.
You know, we've heard a lot about the attacks, and quite rightly, that Donald Trump is making on Muslims, on blacks, on Mexicans, and on women. He's an equal opportunities hater, and we've got to make sure that we defend every single one of those communities. But here's another group of people that he's just gone after. He's just gone after American trade unions. He wants to stop their entire ability to organise in defence of every working person, no matter what colour their skin or religion they come from. Now, you know, I think our response to this has got to be the response that happened in that fantastic American movie, Norma Ray. Because in that movie, if you remember, when a woman trade unionist organises her factory, she gets up on the factory bench and she chants, "Union! Union! Union!" And that's what we should chant today. Come on! Union! 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 Because the basis of the trade union movement and every social movement on this platform owes a debt of gratitude to the trade unions who back them. The principle of the trade union movement is United we stand, divided we fall. And I send that message to every single activist, every single organisation, every single journalist in this country. Remember it well. You are nothing without the organisations that stand behind you. Unity now, unity forever. I've got one other thing to say before I go. I spoke on the very first demonstration that we organised on the day that Donald Trump was inaugurated as president, long before Theresa May ran over to Washington to debase herself, to make herself a doormat for Donald Trump. Long before that, on that first demonstration, I said this, and I'm going to repeat it on every demonstration that we have for as long as Donald Trump is president, and it is this. If you remember, when he was on the campaign trail, Donald Trump used to go before those audiences and he used to get them chanting this about Hillary Clinton. He used to get them chanting, "Lock her up." Well, I tell you what I say. For what Donald Trump does to Muslims, lock him up. For what Donald Trump does to Mexicans, lock him up. For what Donald Trump does to women, lock him up. For what he does to black people, lock him up. For what he does to trade unionists and working people, lock him up. Solidarity, keep fighting, go back to your communities, go back to your mosques, go back to your churches and organise anti-Trump rallies in every place in this country. Stay strong, stay fighting.
Please give a warm welcome to the co-convener of Stand Up to Racism, Weyman Bennett!
They told us that we could organise a demonstration in a week. Did we do it? Are we going to stop Donald Trump? Are we going to stop Theresa May? The message of this is, when Donald Trump uses racism to divide us, we have to remember the tradition that we come from. And we've built a tradition here. I remember a man called from the BNP, and he said he was going to be an MP, and we kicked his ass. We kicked his ass. There's a man from the EBL called Tommy Robinson, and he said he was going to divide us, and we kicked his ass. So when Donald Trump comes to this country, what are we going to do? When he comes to this country, we're going to kick his ass. And I tell you who's going to do it. Black, white, women, gay, straight, young, old, Muslim, Jew, disabled. We're going to do it together as a united group. It's the only way to stop them. And the lesson of history warns us that if you do not have unity, you will be defeated. And we will not allow the question of blaming immigrants for the crisis. Was it a crisis caused by immigrants or bankers? Bankers caused it. The millionaires caused it. What rhymes with banker? They're the people who caused it. And we have to make sure that they don't blame us. In the last crisis, they blamed the Jewish community. Today, they're blaming Muslims. They're trying to divide all of us. But we have a power of organisation on the ground. You see, we are many and they are few. If we go back to our communities, on the 18th, we've got a summit in London. And we've also got, we're asking people to come. On the 20th, we've got a day of action when the people have signed a petition. Please a racist. But the rest of humanity is going to celebrate it in Berlin, in Spain, in Hungary, in Poland, and in London, and in Warsaw, and in Talha. We are going to send a message that we will not be divided, and the tradition of anti-racism and what we've won will be kept. So everybody, please remember, when they say who's the leader, it's not the president, it's not the prime minister, it's every one of us. It's the trade unionists, it's the women. We're the organisers. And when we organise everybody to join us, we defeat those people that want to bring tyranny, racism, sexism and misogyny. We will defeat Donald Trump. We will not roll out a red carpet. We will roll out millions of people to say you're not welcome.
Thank you, Weyman. And don't forget, 18th of March, we're marching against racism. Okay, thank you, John. Right now, we've got a video message from a very important person. That person is leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn!
Hello, thank you for coming out today to show your support for society based on compassion, a politics of hope and solidarity with those under attack from the powerful and those who are full of hate. I'm sorry I can't be with you today. Let no one be in doubt that I will oppose, and the Labour Party will oppose, all those who fan the flames of fear at home and abroad. I support the demand of millions of people in Britain that Donald Trump should not be welcomed on a state visit to this country when he continues to propagate his anti-women, anti-Muslim and anti-Mexican policies. This world defeated segregation, we defeated apartheid, and we will defeat the nasty policy created to sow division and hatred. Trump's invite should be withdrawn until the executive orders are gone and every element of them repealed. Today, we stand in solidarity with our friends all over the USA, who share our views and our values, who are standing with minority communities under attack. On Saturday, last Saturday, the only mosque in the small Texan town of Victoria was burnt down. The local Jewish community responded by giving the mosque keys to their synagogue and donations of pouring in to the rebuilding of the town communities. That's real solidarity. Just as women all over the USA demonstrated against the misogyny and in defence of women's rights in the days following President Trump's inauguration. Trafalgar Square, where your march passed today, has been the scene of demonstrations of protest and of hope. We stood there in the dark days of apartheid, and eventually we welcomed Nelson Mandela to that very square. Theresa May and Conservatives are on the wrong side of history. My solidarity is with you as well. For a world where everyone is judged by their strength of character, not their gender, faith, nationality, or colour of their skin. Solidarity from me today. I'm actually in the great city of Liverpool. Thank you all for being there today and standing up for what is right.
And thank you to Jeremy Corbyn for giving us that message. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, who is here representing one of the organisers of this demonstration, the Muslim Association of Britain. Please welcome the president of that organisation, Omar El-Hamdoon.
It's really great to see so many of you here. We had wet weather and rain, but now it's sunny. So give yourself a great cheer for being here. There's not many things can be said that are good about Trump, but one thing that he has done, which is good, is to expose people for what they are. to show who are the bigots, who are the racists, who are the fascists. He's shown who are the people for what they are, their true colours. Whilst any sane person can see how discriminatory this Muslim ban is, unfortunately we have some Muslim leaders supporting Trump. And at the front of those is none other than the head of the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, Dubai and Abu Dhabi. What a disgrace they are to be Muslim. What a disgrace to be Arab. UAE, shame on you. UAE, shame on you. UAE. I tell you what, the ruler and the head of UAE wouldn't just be happy to hold Trump's hand, he'd be happy to kiss his boots. I don't want to say anything, I know this is a family event. But anyway, Trump has shown that today, unfortunately, our globe has become polarized. On the one hand, we have extremists, fascists, who hate immigrants. And on the other hand, we have people like you who love immigrants. On the one hand, we have bigots who want to lock refugees out. And then we have you who are ready to embrace refugees. We have people, fascists, who love and promote racism, bigotry, sexism, anti-Muslim rhetoric, anti-Semitic, and we have people like you who stand against racism, stand against bigotry and fascism. So we are here to say, stop the hate, spread peace. Stop the hate, spread peace. Trump has surrounded himself with a ring of extremists. And one of the most prominent ones is Bannon, who is so vile that he couldn't even send a message of support to the Jews on Holocaust Day. That's how extreme he is. That's how vile he is. So when Trump is surrounded by people like this, what do we expect? What do we expect other than hatred and bigotry? And finally, it doesn't end here as you've heard before. But make sure when you go home today, if you haven't done so already, sign the petition to send a message to Theresa May that Trump is not welcome here, and we will send him back. And also make sure you come out on these demonstrations, make sure you write to the MP for all that's worth, and make sure that you make your voice heard, and we can say no to racism, no to Islamophobia, no to bigotry. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Omar. I think we should remember that Donald Trump announced the Muslim ban on Holocaust Memorial Day. I want you to say after me, never again! Never again! Never again! Our next speaker is here representing the Jewish Socialist Group. Please give a warm welcome to David Rosenberg.
Thank you, and greetings from the Jewish Socialist Group and from all the Jewish organisations who are here today. We live in a world where too many people would like Jews and Muslims to be enemies, but we are here as Jews to express our complete solidarity with Muslims threatened and victimised by Donald Trump's racism. You are our sisters, you are our brothers, our friends and neighbours, and as Jews, we stand by you. We stand also with the Mexican people, who are mainly Catholic, bearing the brunt of Trump's racism. And as Jews who know something about being refugees, we give our solidarity to all refugees of all nationalities, of all faiths and none. And we know those refugees are being kept out of that tiny, overcrowded country, the USA, and they are enduring humiliating and inhuman border controls. We are very proud that American Jews voted overwhelmingly against Trump. They recognise him and all the white supremacists and Christian fundamentalists he collected around him during his campaign as anti-Semites. But this wasn't just self-interest. American Jews were very prominent in the civil rights movement in the 60s. And when they reject Trump today, they are also rejecting his racism against others, his sexism, his attacks on the environment, and the naked greed of corporations that he will strengthen at the expense of the poor. We know our history. When we heard what he was doing to Muslims, we remembered the Jewish refugees during the Holocaust who were turned away by America and sent back to Europe to add to the funeral pyre. We also know how few Jews were allowed to enter Britain after Hitler came to power. When they finally allowed some Jews to enter in 1938 and 39, the Daily Mail and the Daily Express were screaming about alien Jews pouring in, overrunning the country and all that shit. Before she became Prime Minister, Theresa May spent 6 years as Home Secretary. Her record towards refugees was as bad as her predecessors in the 1930s. Trump and May are made for each other. The demos that we have had on Monday and the Women's March, we know from that and today, Trump has very few friends in the world. He has a lot of enemies. But one of his friends will be here on Monday. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, the butcher of the Palestinians, Prime Minister for the settlers, for the occupiers, not for the ordinary people of Israel, not for the Jewish diaspora. Netanyahu is no friend of ours. This warmonger does not speak in our name. Last point. And make sure you're here on Monday to greet him. May and Trump can discuss how to make rich corporations get richer. Netanyahu and Trump can talk about building walls. We are the Jews who know nothing about walls, but we know everything about barricades. Our message to Maggie May, to warmonger Netanyahu, to racist Trump is no passaran. They shall not pass.
We stand here and say no to Trump's discrimination. Repeat after me, no to Trump's discrimination. No to Trump's racism. No to Trump's anti-Semitism. No to Trump's homophobia. And no to Trump's Islamophobia. Theresa May, listen to us, the hundreds of thousands of people who marched throughout the country, the 1.8 million people who have signed the petition. No to Trump! No to Trump! No to Trump! Friends, we need to be united. There's a triangle that's emerging between Washington, Tel Aviv, and UK to increase discrimination and bigotry. We stand against us, watching us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismael, for excellent messages. I'd now like to welcome our next speaker. Please give a warm welcome to Robb Johnson, who's here representing the Green Party.
Thank you very much. I bring greetings from Caroline, who couldn't be here, and all the Greens that I also see here. We are standing here with you in solidarity because when Trump abuses women and builds walls against Mexicans and dismisses Black Lives Matter protests and bans Muslims from not entering the US, he is abusing and harming all of us. He is peddling bigotry and hatred. But it's not just about that one man, is it? Theresa May is colluding and reinforcing the hatred and bigotry and policies that Trump has brought into play. People voted for him despite hearing how he's abused women and despite, and sadly for many, because of his racist plans. So it's about us. How we deal with racism and violence against women, against other people, against migrants, against our neighbours, for whatever reason. We must never, ever ban people. We must be together banning racism, banning inhumane weapons, banning all weapons of hatred and mass destruction. And please call the UN to trying to start negotiations to ban nuclear weapons, which we're about to spend billions and billions of pounds on. Trump must not be allowed a state visit to the US. We have to say loud and clear here in Downing Street to demand that Prime Minister Theresa May stop reinforcing and colluding in the bigotry, deny Trump a state visit, and stop scapegoating Muslims in the name of Bush and Blair's wrongful war, never-ending war on terrorism. We are here to build bridges, not walls, to resist this politics of hatred, not just today, but every day. Standing together in solidarity, powerful, non-violent solidarity, with the people of Yemen, Somalia, Iran, Iraq, Libya, Sudan, and Syria, and Muslims all over the world. Marching together with the people of the United States who fear for their own democracies, diversity and human rights, and the people of Mexico. Standing together, marching together with people of all colours and creeds, all over the world, whose lives do matter. Stop the hate and spread justice and peace. Together we are strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please give a warm welcome to our next speaker, who is representing the PCS. That's one of the biggest trade unions in this country. She's the Vice President of PCS, Omer.
Greetings everybody, I bring solidarity from the Public and Commercial Services Union and the wider trade union movement. Over the last year it's been quite depressing, seeing the xenophobia and racist hate on our streets following Brexit, seeing the hatred of Trump played out in his first few days in power. But what's given me hope and what's given me strength is seeing demonstrations like this across the world, here in the UK, here in the USA, and in other countries. And we need to stand up united. Let us not forget though, whilst we see the racism of Trump played out in the USA is the most powerful country in the world. If we allow Trump's hatred, Trump's bigotry, Trump's racism and xenophobia and Islamophobia and gender discrimination and homophobia to continue to be accepted, then we send a signal to the whole world that they can continue to hate. They can deepen their hatred. There's no place for Trump on our streets here in the UK. It's unacceptable for him to have a state visit. So we need to come out as big as this demonstration is today. If he sets foot on UK land, we need to come up 100 more people. So we all need to go back to our families, to our communities, to our universities, colleges, workplace, trade unions, and call on everybody to stand against hatred. Because if there's anybody out there that thinks this doesn't impact on me, look around at your workmates, look around at your communities and family. I'm sure you will find there are black people, Muslim people, women, gay people, all the people that Trump hates. But we shouldn't forget that whilst that racism is happening in the USA, it's been happening over a number of years. Racism is deepening, Islamophobia is deepening here in the UK. Let's not forget that the Prime Minister of this country, when she was Home Secretary, brought out those Go Home bans, introduced the Immigration Act, which seeks to create an apartheid-like state in the UK and divide communities. And just this week, we saw a report come out about the unacceptable substandard conditions that asylum seekers here in the UK are forced to live in. They've been treated like animals, they're human beings. The UK is part of the countries, group of countries that did colonialism, that was part of empire, that enslaved people, that went to other countries and pillaged and stripped their resources and stole their lands. And yet when people are coming to this country because they're having to escape from climate change, from poverty, from persecution, from war, they're told they're not welcome, they can't come in. Well, they shouldn't have gone in to those countries, should they? So we need to stand up to racism when we witness it, any forms of phobia and discrimination. It's not the responsibility of those on the receiving end. Because it's not happening to you, that doesn't give you the privilege to walk away. Everybody needs to check their privilege. Everybody needs to stand up to that and say no and speak out. Because I'll tell you something, as somebody who has experienced a huge amount of racism, not least because of being an anti-racist campaigner over my lifetime, when you walk past in silence, what it does is it legitimizes that discrimination. It empowers those that are discriminated. We can't allow that to happen. And I want to end on something that's happening to members in my trade union. Because this is about workers and this is about trade unions as well. It's about our rights. Our union members in PCS that work for the Equality and Human Rights Commission are being cut and stripped. That is supposed to stand up for equality and defend our country from discrimination and protect our human rights. Yet year upon year, they've slashed the budget by 60%, and our members have been out on strike in recent weeks. The members that are being targeted for their jobs to be cut are disabled, are women, and are black. And we need to stand up to that, because basically what you'll see Theresa May sending a message is that human rights and equality don't matter in this country. If you can strip the resources and you can cut those jobs. So I ask all of you, on the night on Thursday, not on the night, this Thursday coming, our members in the HRC will be on strike across the country. Please come out on the picket line. Please send messages of solidarity, because this isn't just about workers, it's about every single one of you here today, your rights being attacked by this government. Solidarity!
Thank you, Zita. Right, repeat after me. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. I'd now like to welcome our next speaker, who is here representing Friends of the Hour. Please welcome Azad.
Thank you, sisters, brothers, assalamu alaikum. I bring this solidarity greeting from Friends of the Earth. I'm Friends of the Earth International, the largest grassroots environmental justice federation in the world. Friends, you don't need to be a climate scientist to know we're in a planetary crisis. Just 1 degree of warming is leading to killer floods and droughts in every single corner of the world. 7,000 people dead in one hurricane in the Philippines. 3.5 million people displaced by one drought in the Sahel. But friends, this is not just an environmental crisis. This is a crisis that says black and poor lives don't matter. This is a crisis that says a crisis of inequality and injustice. A crisis which puts profit before people and our planet. Where the richest 10% of the world are responsible for 50% of global emissions. And the poorest 50% of the world are responsible for only 10% of emissions. An unequal world where just 8 men own as much as 50% of the world's population. And friends, and now we have, at the moment when we need to come together, we have a climate denialist in the White House. A man who wants to build walls and fences, who wants to use racism and xenophobia to divide us. And you know why? Because his cabinet, his government, is a government of big business. A government that wants the right to pollute our land, the right to pollute our air, the right to pollute our water, to put their profit before our well-being. Friends, at this time we need more solidarity and more justice for us to be able to tackle these global problems. We are in decade zero. The decisions we make now will determine the lives and livelihoods of millions of people all around the world. But friends, this is not just in the United States. The forces of hatred are on the march all across Europe, from France and Germany and the Netherlands. Friends, and also here, we're here in the United Kingdom, we're now told that because of Brexit, because of austerity, we have to have even less regulation. We have to say yes to fracking. We have to put the lives and livelihoods and the rights of our communities at risk. And friends, we say no to that. But friends, let me say, Donald Trump talks about building walls. But let's remember that here in Europe, we are already building walls and fences across Europe, where each year 5,000 people lie drowning in the Mediterranean. Or their only crime, the right to a dignified life. Friends, we need at this moment, we need a movement that says yes to solidarity, yes to justice, that says no to racism and no to walls, that says refugees are welcome here, that says climate refugees are welcome. And as friends of the earth, we're proud to be mobilising alongside you and all across the world. But let me finish, friends. When I was growing up as an immigrant in a Muslim family in the north, my parents used to tell me that one day we'd be kicked out of this country. One day the forces of hatred would be so strong that we'd always have to prepare. And as a young man, I joined the anti-racist movements in the black struggle. And in the 70s and 80s, we smashed the racists and the fascists. And we said here to stay and here to fight. That we have a right to live here, free from attack. And now, in the communities, in the Muslim community, in the black community, in many minority communities, that fear is starting to rise again. But as that fear starts to rise, all across our communities, we looked at the protests that have been taking place in the United States, the tens of thousands of people who've been coming out on the streets last week and today. And you know what that message said? It sends a message that when they came for the Muslims, we said, not today, not ever. Friends, we can't go quietly into the darkness. We need to build a movement that unites all of us, a movement whose beating heart is justice. And friends, and that's that movement I see out there. Thank you.
Thank you to give a warm welcome to Salma Yaqoob.
Thank you to each and every person who's come here today. Donald Trump may think he leads a superpower, but the real superpower in the world is right here, ordinary people like you and me. My nephew spoke how he's studying GCSE history. I'm like the O-level days, back in the day it was called O-levels. And I used to wonder then, how could people have allowed something like the Holocaust to have taken place? How can it be that in a civilized country of advanced science in Germany, that people not only actively supported but passively looked away when millions of their fellow neighbours and citizens were taken away and exterminated? It's hard to fathom, but he's right. Slowly, it begins like this, where people are separated, where people are segregated, where one group is told that you are inferior, you do not deserve the same rights as us. And this ban is just the beginning. This has been a creeping process, and Trump is not just about one individual. This has come about after decades of Islamophobia, which to our shame has been mainstream since the so-called war on terror, which of course has been a war of terror. So we saw Western Europe exterminate a group of people based simply on their ethnicity. And in my own lifetime, in the 1990s, I bore witness how in Bosnia, a Western European country, Muslims were killed simply because of their faith, not their ethnicity. They were white Muslims. Simply because of their faith, they were killed. And we heard then, never again, never again. And it's an absolute disgrace that it was on Holocaust Memorial Day, that Trump announced this ban. On the day that they didn't even make reference to Jews on Holocaust Memorial Day. Of course, irony will be lost on someone like Trump, but we, the world, see what is going on, and that's why it's so important that people come out. People sometimes say, does it work? Well, I tell you this, we started this demo outside the US Embassy, and we're here outside the Prime Minister's domain, Downing Street, because protests like this work. Theresa May was silent, absolutely silent. She was there on the day that they made this announcement. She knew this announcement was going to be made. This is the same day that she held hands with Trump and was so proud that she was going to be the bridge to Europe. But I don't know, as a woman, maybe she was holding his hand so that he didn't grab for anywhere else. You just don't know with Trump. But we've got to say to Theresa, it stops now, because she is being an appeaser. Her complicity is exactly what allows tyranny to reign. And that's why it's so important we are here today to say not in our name. We will not legitimize this racism and this fascism. I'm always wary of making an analogies to Nazism and fascism, and rightly so. But all the signs are there now, and we cannot look away. Donald Trump, we know you. Hitler was a fascist too. Donald Trump, we know you. Hitler was a fascist too. Donald Trump, we know you. Hitler was a fascist too. And I pray and I hope that this message will be heard, not just here, but all around the world, that we will not accept, we will not stay quiet, we will oppose every step of the way, because we know that it's just the beginning. When he speaks against women, we say no. When he speaks against immigrants, we say no. When he speaks against lesbians and gays and trans, we say no. Because united we stand and drop the ban. United United we stand, drop the ban. United we stand, drop the ban. United we stand, drop the ban. It's so true. The things that unite us are far, far greater than anything that can divide us. And he can appeal to the lowest, but we stand for the highest of what is in humanity. We will not fall for division and fear, and we will stand strong right here. Thank you to each and every one of you. Keep strong and keep coming out. See you at the next